Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. It is the Sens Nation podcast, brought to you by our friends at Jim K. Ford. And today, it's pretty much all about the gold medal game. It's a national heartbreak. So I'm glad you're here to commiserate a little bit with us. Earlier today, Canada fell to the Americans 2-1 in overtime. And let's maybe, Greg, right out of the gate. First of all, congrats to you for playing through pain. It's Olympic time. You're obviously not right. You're dealing with something. It's not, I don't know, upper body injury, upper chest injury, cold flu. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks, Stevie. I'm good. I'm good. My nose is a little stuffed. I may have to hit the little mute button to sneeze every once in a while, but I'm good to go, man. Let's talk about the gold medal loss.
All right, let's. I'll throw it to you first.
All right.
You're because this is one of those, because you always try, and when you're covering the NHL or covering the Ottawa Senators, you like to sort of slide in with a little bit of objectivity, but this allows for all Canadians to kind of be on the same page in that they're cheering openly for Team Canada to win an Olympic gold medal on the international stage. So let's start out right out of the gate with a checkup on how you're feeling. Like, what did you feel watching that game, and just overall feelings about the contest?
As the game wore on and we got deeper and deeper into it, it was becoming more and more evident there was going to be a DJ Senator, Ottawa Senator loss. As the game went on, it just became clearer and clearer. This is going to be one of those. You play like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win the hockey game.
Right.
And that's really, that was my number one takeaway from it. And a lot of the players and a lot of the post-game pundits, comments, whatever, were that exact same thing, right? They deserved to win. They were the better team. It's the Blue Jay World Series loss, except it's hockey. It was close, but no cigar. But they were the better team. They did deserve to win the game. But, I guess when it comes right down to it, the other team won. So did they deserve to win? I don't know how exactly that works. But that was my number one takeaway was that right there. They didn't get goalied. They didn't get outworked. They just didn't score when they had to. They just did a bit of bad luck here and there and didn't come away with the dub. Play the game again tomorrow, they win 4-1. Play the game again the day after that, they lose 2-1. It's just these teams are that close, and in the end, you just didn't quite get her done.
That's something you have to accept as a hockey fan. That's probably not talked about that much. People talk about, oh, it's unacceptable to lose that game and this and that. But that's something you kind of have to accept if you choose to be a fan of the sport of hockey, that sometimes you're going to lose games where you outplay the other team. That's because there's so much randomness to hockey. There's the good bounce. There's a call that goes against you or for you. There's a lot of randomness that goes to the sport of hockey. I will put Canada's roster up against America's. I will put today's performance up against America's and feel very good that if you played the game 10 times, Canada would win more often than not. But that's the nature of hockey. Even the Stanley Cup champion is going to lose 30 games in total, 30, 35 games, I think it is. When you talk about regular season and playoff losses, you're going to lose a lot. And really, the Olympic experience, I mean, even a team as good as Canada, they're being asked to go into effectively a best of 5, starting with quarterfinals, and not to, win 3, but to win 3 in a row. You got to win this best of 5 in a 3-game sweep. That's what the winner has to do. America did it, and so you tip your cap to them. But again, that's the nature of hockey, that not always are you going to come away satisfied, even though you do everything right.
And having said all of that, I agree with everything you said. I obviously agree with what I said. I'm the one who said it. Having said all of that, there's still some coaching nitpicky things that we could talk about if
Okay.
you want to get into it. If you want to get into it.
What did you not like in the coaching?
The first thing that struck me, Steve, was the 5-on-3. I could not understand for the life of me the decision by Canada to play an umbrella against a triangle. Think of 3 guys defending in a 5-on-3. They're generally going to set up in a triangle, right? 1 guy at the top, 2 guys down low. The second you go to an umbrella, which is 1 guy in the top middle, 2 flanks, and 2 guys down low, you really limit the options for the top guy to move the puck from side to side. He can only move down to a flank or up or down to a flank, right? You take away the D to D pass across the blue line. When you have that pass across the top, the triangle on defense has to rotate. So somebody has to jump out and challenge the other defenseman, and the guy who's up top has to come back down again. So you get the triangle moving all over the place, and eventually a scene opens. Generally, you want to play a standard five-man setup when you've got two forwards actually on the goal line or even lower, and you've got two defensemen up at the top of the blue line, and then you've got your bumper guy in the middle, and you work the puck around the horn. So you go from down low on one side, up the top, across the blue line, down to the other side. You just go around the horn, and slowly but surely the D will creep in, and the guys in the goal line will step out, and eventually there's going to be a seam pass across the triangle because somebody's moving up and down, or there's going to be a pass right into the middle of the triangle to your bumper guy. And because Canada played an umbrella against a triangle, they never made the triangle move. They never created any pressure on those guys to maintain stick position, body position, to play the puck, to watch for passes, to be head to swivel. They didn't make it difficult on the Americans to defend the 5-on-3. And I found that decision almost egregious that they went with that.
Hmm. Well, it didn't work, that's for sure, on the 5-on-3, and a lot of things didn't work in terms of finishing.
Mm.
Just the basics, though. I mean, God, there's so many moments of regret, I think, in particular for the guys who were on a plane to Denver after Milan. You know, you think about Nathan McKinnon, you think about Devin Taves, you think about even Cale Makar, who was so great in this tournament, but on the winning goal, not so much. But well, let's get into the winning goal. I guess that's probably, the play that everybody's, thinking about. Really, it's Cale Makar not recognizing what's going on there. He tries to be aggressive at the blue line on an outlet pass, and already Connor McDavid is in deep, so he's kinda out of the play, and at that stage, I think Makar needs to be more conservative, but he was aggressive at the offensive blue line, tried to get the puck first on the outlet pass. That was kind of a shaky one going to Jack Hughes, and Hughes was able to just chip it past him, and now it's over. It's a 3-on-1 the other way. It ends up on the stick of Werenski, and he did a good job to secure the puck in the offensive zone for the USA. Hits Hughes, who's coming in late, and he beats Binnington between the legs for the historic American goal for their first gold medal since 1980. What did you think of the goal? Is that on Makar?
I think there's blame all around, Steve. I really do. All three players on the ice, Makar, McKinnon, McDavid. Earlier, they had the first shift of the 3-on-3, and that was my other coaching decision I didn't like. Became evident then and there that this team, for some reason, were told to shoot the puck off the rush. Like, you remember back the first shift, McKinnon took a shot, McDavid took a shot, second shift, Celebrini took a shot. On the winning goal, McDavid drove outside, 1-on-2 down low, tried to come in front of the net, and ended up turning it over there, and that led to the Americans going north. This is right from the goal line, right from the goal mouth. So there's the first problem. Why we're trying to score off the rush with 1-on-3 and 1-on-2, I don't understand. But from that turnover there, the puck comes up towards the blue line. Then it's Makar's choice. Okay, what am I doing? First thing he needs to do is, where's my help? Where's my support? That informs his decision to either pressure, contain, or pull out. I don't think he scanned well enough to see that there was nobody else on the ice because McKinnon hadn't even stepped on the ice yet, and McDavid was down at the goal line. He jumped up, chipped it by him, and away we go. Then the problem became, you got Nathan McKinnon trying to play defense. I think he hesitated ever so slightly because he can't decide, do I attack the puck carrier here? Do I worry about these other two guys? And if you get the replay from the camera behind the Canada goal that shows the full length of the ice, there's no hustle coming from Connor McDavid, and there's no hustle coming from Cale Makar to get back. That was criminal, especially from the first shift of the game where you saw McDavid turned it over on the first shift of overtime, and guilt gear kicked in, and he raced all the way back. You
Hmm.
remember the big save by Binnington on the first shift of OT? That was a 1-on-3 failed attempt by McDavid, and he rushed back like a madman. Well, on the winning goal, he did not. Nobody rushed back to pick up anybody. You got a 3-on-1 inside the zone with a forward playing the 1 on defense. I'm sorry, but the best and the best of the best of the best of the world are going to finish. It's going to be a goal. It's going to
Mm.
happen. It was over when those two guys decided that they didn't need to skate back as hard. Maybe they both thought the same thing. It's a 3-on-1 inside the zone. It's Nathan McKinnon. We ain't stopping this one. Game over because neither of them skated hard enough to get home.
Yeah, I am. We may need to tell a straighter if you're going to go this hard on the coaching here on the
Sorry.
podcast. All of this, it's all good. I would find issue with your opinion on McDavid's back check. I couldn't tell Makar's. He was very late getting back, it seemed, but
Oh yeah.
I didn't necessarily see what Makar was up to. But with McDavid, he's got to choose between two guys to go to, and it looked like he was, had the pass gone to the other. I don't know who the other American was on the play. Werenski goes to Hughes. I think it looked like McDavid was taking the third guy on that, and it goes over to Hughes. But I'll defer to you. I'm not going to be that strong on that because like I said, I don't have a telestrator, and I didn't, prepare for Coach's Corner here. But
Sorry. Like I don't want to
I didn't
blame
find fault
anyone.
with find fault with what McDavid did, but I'll
Yeah,
have another look at it.
I'm trying not to be hard and blame anyone, but you're right. He did choose one guy over the other and glided towards him.
Right.
That's not
Okay.
acceptable. Like, skate your butt off and eliminate F2, which was the guy he sort of was gliding to. But Makar was nowhere near the goal scorer, Hughes, which obviously had to be his guy. Like, it had to be, but he was nowhere near him. But even if McDavid takes 2 or 3 more strides, he at least can get into the passing lane, maybe
Mhm.
across ice to Hughes. He did not, there was nowhere near the gilt speed back check that he showed 2 shifts earlier in overtime when he turned it over at the net and raced McDavid style all the way home to eliminate a scoring chance. I'm not trying to blame him. It's not his fault. I'm just saying the game is a game of little things, little mistakes here and there. The first goal, little mistakes like that. That's how things happen.
So the Hughes goal is unbelievable in that it's a great shot, but considering the physical and emotional stress that guy was under, very
Right.
short time earlier. It's pretty amazing that he ends up being the hero in the game. First of all, he gets his chiclets just destroyed. Like it looked. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to see his smile after in the celebration. It wasn't like one; it was like one, and then half of the other on the front two teeth, and then two over here diagonal. It was like he got caught like that. It was a mess. And but it sets the Americans up with a 4-minute power play, and then Hughes is then after about, I don't know, it was about 3 minutes, he takes a high sticking call, getting Bo Horvat up high, and according to Mike Johnson, friend of the show, he said that there was blood on Horvat, and for
Mhm.
some reason, they only gave Hughes a 2-minute minor. A 4-minute, double minor would have sent that power play on into the first, I think, 35 seconds of the overtime. That would have been huge for Canada, but they only called a single minor. So a lot going on for Jack Hughes there. What did you think of Canada not getting what America got, and that's the double minor?
Yeah, that surprised me. People are going to make cracks about Sam Bennett's double minor. Yes, Sam Bennett has a reputation. He did not Jack Hughes in the mouth on purpose. Like that was purely accidental. It drew blood. Okay, the rules say it's 4 minutes. But then if that's what the rules say, it's 4 minutes. Why wasn't it the other way around? I didn't understand the Hughes minor versus double minor, just like the too many men. And it wasn't 6 guys, it was 7 guys. US had 7 guys in the ice at one point. No call? Like, that was
Yeah.
amazing. Everybody's up in arms, yelling and screaming. Like, all you had to do was take a look around. It was so obvious. It was very easy because there was 5 of them right there within 2 feet of the bench. So that non-call kinda threw me for a loop too, but again, I'm not making excuses, I'm not we're not gonna say how 3-on-3 overtime sucks, and it shouldn't be decided that way because the rules are the rules are the rules. I was surprised by the non-call on Hughes, and I was surprised by the non-too many men call.
If anybody from America that was hitting me on social media because I said in the game, by the way, it's funny how in social media you say something during the game when it's 1-1, and I said, "Is there a new Olympic rule where You can play with as many guys as you want when you take on Team Canada. And obviously, that was a nod to what happened in the Czechia game when they scored what was almost an elimination goal against Canada with a bunch of guys, 6 guys on the ice, on both the defense and then on the rush and in the celebration. It was absurd. And so I said that during the game. And of course, even now, I think we're now about 8 hours out from the game. I'm still getting all kinds of social media from American hockey fans who think I said that after the game as an excuse. So if there are any of you Americans listening, obviously I'm saying that in game. And what's more, because I kept getting all these, graphics of here's Canada with where they were too many men on the ice and drawing it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But what they fail to understand is the puck's on the other side of the ice. What made this an egregious miss by the officials in this game is because the Americans had the same number of players. You were talking about too many men on the ice, but the guy who had just jumped on was playing the puck. And that is
Right,
the absolute hand in the cookie jar moment that makes it
right.
so easy to call. And the referees deliberately ignored it. Unlike Czechia, where everybody missed it, in this one, everybody saw it, including the referees. They just chose not to call it.
Correct, and it's crazy. I don't
Yep.
understand it. It was
Nor
very
I.
weird.
Yep. So yeah, there's a couple other things we want to get into here. We'll talk about the chances, the specific chances that were missed, the goaltending performances, and a bunch of other stuff as well. There's lots to get to, and we'll talk about it all after these words.
Are you ready to take your Ford ownership to the next level? Introducing Ford Pass at Jim K. Ford, your passport to a world of convenience and control. Start your vehicle remotely, lock or unlock it from your smartphone, receive instant alerts about your vehicle's health, and schedule service appointments. Don't miss out on the Ford Pass revolution at Jim K. Ford, 1438 Uville Drive in Orleans, or online at jimkford.com.
At Jim K. Ford Lincoln, we say yes!
You know, Steve, if you ever get tired of waiting in line for an oil change, you can go to Midas, make an appointment. You don't have to wait in line. You just show up whatever time you want it. They'll set up an appointment for you. Walk in, get your car done in 20 minutes, wait there for it. Maybe takes 40 minutes, but they're going to give it a good going over while it's in the shop. Check out the 5 Midas locations, midas.ca.
All right, welcome back to the show. John Cooper, after the game, spent some time talking about not liking 3-on-3 overtime. Some people have said, okay, that's something I agree with. Others were saying, particularly in America, but others as well, saying that's just sour grapes. You knew the rules going in. And even John Cooper, as his news conference went on, he kind of backtracked on it a little bit, but clearly not a fan of 3-on-3. I have to agree with him. I'm not a fan, and we talked about it in the last episode. The 3-on-3 is a gimmick. It's a construct of the NHL in the midst of the grind of an 82-game season where the games don't particularly mean all that much, where it's not the ideal way to solve things, but these guys got to catch planes and they got to get to the next place, and it's a grind. For the most important hockey game maybe in 4 years, we can talk about Stanley Cup finals and things like that and championships in the NHL, but this is in the discussion as the most important hockey game over a 4-year span. You can't spend where do these guys got to be? The NHL season doesn't start till the middle of this week. If they have to delay a plane or two, whoop-de-doo. It's just madness to me that, and I was saying this last week, and I said it during the game today. After the second period, it was tied at 1. I put it on social media. I'm getting very annoyed that this tournament, I think, is going to be decided with a 3-on-3 overtime, and sure enough, it was. I just despise it. And I don't blame John Cooper for saying that. What say you?
I agree with you. And John Cooper, yes, he said he's not a fan of it. It takes 4 guys off the ice in what is a great and beautiful game. But he wasn't saying it as an excuse. He also did say, I understand it's the rules and it's
That's
the
right.
way we got to play. And I'm not stupid. I know we won a game in 3-on-3 overtime. He gets it, but he can still understand it. He can still not use it as an excuse, but his point is still valid. It sucks. It's not the way to end a hockey game. It's perfectly legit to say that.
And I'll go one step further, though. I'm just some old broadcaster here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And I will say that in this particular case, I think Canada would have won that game. I'll go ahead and say it. You can't use it as an excuse. Yeah, I'm going to. How about that? I'm going to say that you've changed the sport. a sport that they were in 5-on-5, dominating. Once Canada tied that game, and even long before it, they had taken over that hockey game. And I believe in a 5-on-5 scenario, Canada would win the gold medal. But you decided, okay, we're going to take the four guys off the ice, two from each team, and we'll play it winning. And just, it's the dumbest thing in the world. And I do think it cost them a gold medal because they were playing that much better than the Americans to that point. And barring a penalty, I feel very strongly that Canada wins it. So I'm going to go ahead
Go ahead.
and just throw it out there. You can say you can't use it as an excuse. You're damn right I am. I'm just on
I'm
it.
good with you.
Okay.
I'm good with you. That works. Of
Okay.
course, at 5-on-5, they should have won the game how many times? They should have won the game 4-1. You had the McDavid breakaway, the Celebrini breakaway, the McKinnon empty net, the Taves empty net. I'm missing another breakaway, aren't I? Like, it was
No,
just it
I
was
think that's
how
it.
many opportunities did they have? Oh, man, it was so, uh oh, I just keep using the word frustrating. I'm sorry, Steve. It's frustrating that you couldn't bury one or two of them along the way, and we wouldn't be having this discussion about 3-on-3.
Yeah. It's the McKinnon one for me. If I'm to look at the one of the four that you just mentioned there, yeah, they're all great chances. The Tays one is absurdly good, and the save that Hellebuck makes is unbelievable, though quite fortunate. I mean, he could do that 100 times and never get a stick on it, but he got it on it that time. And it's a stay-at-home defenseman who's there. If it's any forward, it's probably in the net. But okay. But it's the McKinnon one where, I mean, it's not the greatest angle and everything, but this is Nathan McKinnon we're talking about. And I feel like if he gets 1,000 of those opportunities in an NHL game, he's going to bury 1,000 of those opportunities. And just for whatever reason, I guess maybe just a brief glimmer of excitability, and it just changed. I don't know. Just changed the trajectory of his stick, and something different happened that maybe normally wouldn't happen. And he rings it off the side of the net. He is going to be haunted by that for a very long time.
Yeah, I think both McKinnon and Makar, like, who would have thought that Kale Makar would not look 100% on the 2 goals in a gold medal game like that? Like,
Yeah.
and McKinnon was on for both of them too, obviously. I thought we didn't even talk about the first goal. I didn't have as much trouble with Boldy splitting the D. It's the way the game's played, right? You can't hold a guy up. So once he aerials it through, it's too late. I can't step in front of him. The problem came 2 seconds before he flipped it in the air. Somebody needed to step up and knock him down or
Mhm.
poke the puck off his stick. Excuse me. It's just they were a little too passive at the blue line to prevent Boldy from doing what he did. But the bigger issue was how did the puck get out of the zone? How did Boldy get up the ice? He got up the ice because Matthews chipped it into the middle to him just inside the blue line. McKinnon went at him, but hesitated. He didn't lead with the stick. There was no stick on puck. He was slow to get to Matthews and then slowed up when he got to Matthews. And Matthews just chipped it by him, and out went the U.S., and Boldy went up the ice and did his little split the D and scored. It was frustrating from the second the puck left the U.S. zone, I thought. If I'm McKinnon and Makar, I'm not sleeping well over a number of things after this game.
Yeah. Like our old pal Ron Graham, our mutual friend who has coached for a million years like yourself, would always say, because we coached for a long time together, ladies, stick on puck, body on body, every practice. And that one was forgotten, unfortunately, in that particular case. So that was a tough one for sure. Yeah, definitely a tough one. And Taves as well, he's part of that, and also has that moment, as Makar does, with a secondary moment where he's got an empty net to shoot at, and somehow, some way, Connor Hellebuck gets his stick on it. And I thought he was very good. I thought Jordan Binnington was very good. Like, it looked like late in the third period, America had won the game with Matthew Tkachuk out in front. Great save by Binnington, but at the same time, the second opportunity for Tkachuk, that was a great job by Bo Horvat. If you look at the replay, he's in there digging and gets a stick on the potential rebound that would have gone into the empty net, because now Binnington was down and out. But what did you think of the goaltending in this game?
I thought they were both stellar. I think obviously Hellebuck is gonna get more of the press because A, he won, and B, he made more saves. But I thought Binnington was was far above expected in saves. I think Binnington was just great. Like I have no problem with Binnington. I'm not blaming the goaltender, and I think anybody out there who was questioning the Binnington selection before tournament or even in tournament can now look back and say, you know what, he was the right guy, he was the right choice. It wasn't his fault. But Hellebuck was just a man on fire, a man possessed, a man destined to create a legacy like Binnington already has. They talk about the Vezinas, they talk about the heart, but then they also talk about the never come up big in the big game, never won a playoff series where he stood at his head or lost the Four Nations final. Good for Connor Hellebuck to step up in a big moment and pretty much cement his legacy. I thought he was great. They were both great.
Yep, they certainly were, and I think if I'm the St. Louis Blues, with Jordan Binnington reminding the hockey world that he's still a hell of a goaltender, I might be changing my tune about the potential of him being available, because that I don't know, I thought he was fantastic again, and,
Mhm.
I'm holding on to him if I'm running the St. Louis Blues.
Well,
Um, yeah, I don't know why would you wanna get rid of Jordan Binnington? Exactly. There's not many
well, you're
guys that
you're
can
not a
backstop.
playoff team.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you're going scorched earth, but I don't know. We've lived through it in Ottawa, the scorched earth rebuild that has taken forever. But I continually, in the time that the Sens started their rebuild somewhere around 2018, it seems like teams, you know, rise and fall all in that same period. So it feels to me like, maybe we're putting, this idea of, the scorched earth rebuild is what every team is going to do. Maybe you can tweak and change things around. But there's lots of ways to get a team back on top. But I would hold on to Bennington. There's just not that many good goalies in the league anymore.
No, it all depends on if the team decision is we're tanking, then he's gone. Does this help make the decision easier one way or the other? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out in the next week and a half or so, right?
Yep, I would say so. A couple of other things. Did you see the expression on
Ah,
Nathan McKinnon's face when he was handed one of those teddy bears or whatever the hell those things are, said mascot teddy bear, plush toy, whatever the hell you wanna call it? Like, I thought that
classic.
was hilarious because I was thinking it, during it was exactly the same scenario with Canada's ladies. They lose 2-1 to the Americans in the final, in overtime as well, and they had to stand around for about literally 25 minutes. It wasn't as long for the men, but the ladies
Yeah.
stood there, like, heartbroken, tears streaming down their face, standing there doing nothing for 25 minutes while the Italian officials got their shit together. Sorry. It really upset me when it was happening. It was bugging me. And then they give them their silver medals, and then they go through and give them each a plush toy, and they did it again with the men. And man, if looks could kill, Nathan McKinnon was not he wasn't looking to kill anybody. He just looked like a look on his face like, "This is the stupidest effing thing I've ever been presented. What are you guys doing? What did you think?"
Well, first of all, every medalist gets one. Every sport, every discipline, every color medal, you get one of these little plush toys.
Why?
I don't know why. There's always the medal and something else, right? Always. But yeah, that expression was classic. Classic was like, WTF am I gonna do with this? Like,
Yeah.
oh man, okay, this is for my kids when I get home. What the hell is this? I love the face, and it's been captured. It's gonna become a meme. That and the Mark Kennedy finger thing, those 2 memes are gonna be all over the place for quite a while to come now.
Yeah, our Canadian men did win gold in curling, so I was saying Kennedy was just saying number 1.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah.
but yeah, it was not good, with the men, and, obviously, McKinnon's gonna think about that one for a long time. Like, who are you now thinking is going to be, a bigger beast? Nathan McKinnon after, missing that open net and losing the gold medal, and now he has to go back to the NHL, regular grind of the NHL for the final 25
Yeah.
games. Is that the player you're expecting to have a phenomenal finish, or will it be someone like Brady Tkachuk who finally wins a first championship? Is he going to go bonkers for the Senators in the last 25 games? Which of those types of players, is it the winner or the loser that you expect to take off in these last 25 games?
See, I thought you were gonna give me the McKinnon or McDavid, and I was gonna say McKinnon because McDavid doesn't have the supporting cast that McKinnon has. Wow, who should
Winner
be the
versus
one?
loser.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because there's inspiration to be taken
Yeah,
in both cases, right?
either way, yeah. I think McKinnon's gonna be a man possessed, and the fact that he's got Makar there pushing him. Yeah, but then having said that, Brady's got Sanderson there with him as well. We come back, we're happy, we know what it takes, we know how it's done. Let's get the rest of these guys there too. I just think McKinnon and Makar are gonna be the 2. That's my take anyway.
I think it'll be Tkachuk, just because the Sens have so much to play for. Like, they're playing for their lives to make the playoffs. And meanwhile, having said this, everybody that was in that gold medal game is going to return to the NHL, and they're going to have a hard time for a game or two, I think,
Yeah,
because this was like they're going to need a decompression chamber to go from Olympic gold medal to game 52 or whatever they're at, 57 in the regular season. So it'll take a game or two adjustment. But I think Tkachuk has the advantage because he's striving for something. His team is going to struggle to make the playoffs here. Like, they've left themselves a big old hole that they got to
yeah,
climb out of, 6 points back, 3 teams to climb over. I think he's going to take that excitement. He's got a taste of victory. Now he wants a little more, and I think he's going to be better than the Colorado squad, who they're the Globetrotters. They've got this unbelievable record right now. They've got the disappointment of this, and I think it will take them even longer to kind of acclimatize themselves to the quote-unquote regular, everyday, boring NHL. And I always say boring. It's not boring, but it's boring compared to what we just saw
yeah,
in Milan.
yeah, yeah. And as a Senators show, we're looking forward to seeing Brady Tkachuk take the team on his back and say, "Follow me, fellas. I know how it's done now. Watch
Yeah.
me." Yeah.
Next chance for Canada, World Cup in 2028. That will be the next opportunity. It's funny. I mean, obviously the Olympics has more panache, but the Four Nations face-off was so hotly contested. It's still a best on best, and it looked like all the players regarded it as important as the Olympics here, and the World Cup will probably have the same thing. It's basically down to this, Canada, US, the 2 very best teams. They play against each other all the time in the NHL, and any opportunity to say, I'm better than you, they're going to take it and treat it extremely seriously. But the Olympics will always be just a little bit more, but I am looking forward to the World Cup in a couple of years for Canada to have another chance. Last thing about the Olympics, and then we'll call it a day.
Mhm.
Uh, what helped me as a Canadian hockey fan who was very sad about the result. I mean, I was really bummed for about an hour or two after, and then I start looking at other things. One of the things that kind of eased the sting was the Gaudreau family being in attendance for the whole thing. And they carry Gaudreau's jersey all around the ice. They have the number 13 jersey in their dressing room for the entirety of the tournament. And what's more on top of that, to kind of give you a sense of maybe it's America's turn, maybe it's America's time for destiny. It's Johnny Gaudreau's 2-year-old son's birthday, and it is the anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. So all of that, it was like, oh my God, in terms of like the whole karma, if you buy into that sort of thing, it's sort of all on the American side. And it did take a little of the sting away, that whole angle with the Gaudreau family being so happy.
Well said. And they brought Johnny's 2 kids onto the ice for the picture too, when they
Yep.
did the big team picture at the end. Like, they just yeah, they got it right. It was classy. It was not the usual bombastic US type thing. It was handled right, and it was beautiful. It really was. It was touching.
No doubt. All right, so it's back to NHL regular season activity, but it is going to be interesting. Sens are back at it against the Detroit Red Wings at home on Wednesday night. They had their skills competition today at Canadian Tire Center. Our pal Drake Batherson, with a touch of the Sens Nation karma, with a 106-mile-an-hour missile to be the fastest, hardest shot Yeah, and, Ridley Gregg, and I'm putting an asterisk beside this one because you don't have Jake Sanderson or Tim Stützle involved in the race, but Ridley Gregg was the fastest skater, and surprisingly, and good for her, I mean, it was Ottawa Charge forward Rebecca Leslie who was invited to compete, and she legit won the most accurate shooter competition with the 4 targets. Whoever hits the 4 targets down the fastest, she did it in 9 seconds. So
Stellar.
beat all the Senator players, and so congratulations to the Ottawa Charge forward Rebecca Leslie. And with that, we'll call it a day, Greg. I hope that cold is doing better. Suck on a lemon.
Go
That's
back to
not
bed.
abuse. That's not abuse. Suck on a lemon. It helps.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right. Thanks for being with
Talk
us,
to you,
ladies.
pal.
Okay, sounds good. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, SensNationHockey.com is our website. Everything you're curious about, how to contact us, other stuff we got going on, check out SensNationHockey.com. That is the easiest thing to do. Enjoy your evening, and we'll talk to you in the next episode. Thanks, Greg.
See you, buddy.